I thought that having the opportunity to have that discussion and to find what the really relevant questions are is a means of bringing people together and bringing them to consider what their collective choices and responsibilities are, and how we could collectively respond to the crises of humanity. So let's say one of the most important questions in any human being's life relates to the question of what is the meaning of my life? What should I do with my life? What is a worthwhile way to get through life? And that is not a question that you're ever asked at school. It's kind of surprising, really. So we go into an education system that focuses mainly on turning us into little cogs that fit into the machine of society, and society just steams on in whichever way we're pushing it, in whichever direction it's going. If we want to transform society, we're going to have to ask these really deep, fundamental questions about the assumptions that are driving the whole of society. And philosophical questions are actually very important, and the answers that we give are very important to society. Just as important as the fear that we have that we might one day die, and that our lives might be completely insignificant. And learning to recognize the importance of these questions, and then talking about these subjects with other people, is one way of bringing this consciousness to society, so that it becomes part of the decision-making process. I see a lot of evidence in this in my circle of friends. People suddenly they hit 30 or 40, and their lives have just been going on, and they've just kind of been surviving, and they've got a job and mortgage, and life is just kind of going on, and they've never had the opportunity to ask themselves what the fuck they're doing, and how they're going to feel about the life that they're living right now in 40 or 50 years' time, when they die. I've also had the privilege of watching a lot of people die, and being with people and supporting people who died. And having gone through this ayahuasca experience of having my own symbolic death, which was stretched out over many years, because I'm a terrible coward, so I literally did everything possible never to go over the edge, and that stretched it out, and I saw all these different aspects of my fear of death and what it was manifesting in my life. So I'm very keenly aware that this is actually Ernest Becker wrote this book, Fear of Death or something, in which he talks about the way fear of death actually shapes the choices that we make collectively and individually. And one of those choices is obviously to have, to not be reminded of death in any way. So we've created a society where everything is geared towards sensual gratification. Because the only way you can keep awareness of death at bay is by constantly occupying your mind. As soon as there's silence, wham, you feel like you're dying.